Alright guys, here we are at the end of yet another amazing year here on MangaTube. 2022 is coming to an end pretty soon here, so I decided that it was time to finally compile my top 5 favorite manga reads of the year. Hey, what is going on guys? My name is ThePromG. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, like I just said, today we're going over my top 5 favorite manga reads of 2022. It's a video I do every single year, so I think about twice now that I've done this, where I go through the year in retrospect and talk about my favorite manga that I read over the year. You know, throughout an entire year, me personally, I'm sure you as well, read a lot of manga of varying quality. You know, some of it is nothing to write home about, but then you have those series that you just love so much and want to share with the entire world. So that's what I'm doing today. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So without any further ado, I say we get right into the number 5 spot for my favorite manga reads of 2022. Alright, so starting off the list at the number 5 spot, we have none other than Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball. This is a series that I've been meaning to read for so long, but you know, I'm a box set kind of guy, and the box sets had just been out of stock for years. But luckily, with the help of Base Senpai, I was able to secure both the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z manga box sets from Viz Media, 2 absolutely beautiful sets that I really enjoyed reading this year. Now, the series of Dragon Ball basically needs no introduction, obviously, one of the most classic, influential, and timeless shonen manga of all time, and this is one that I actually grew up watching Dragon Ball Z Kai on 4Kids every Saturday morning as a kid. So this year I made it a point to set out and read the entire manga, not only so I could experience a manga that is extremely important in the history of manga, but also so I could actually just hold conversations about Dragon Ball with friends and people online without only having to use my knowledge from Dragon Ball Fighters and a couple faded memories of Dragon Ball Z Kai. And as expected, Dragon Ball is just so much fun. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably pick original Dragon Ball. It's a little bit more of a simple, childish, you know, adventure manga, but it is just so fun to go along on this ride with Kid Goku. As he trains with Krillin and Master Roshi, goes to these martial arts tournaments, you meet Piccolo, one of the most iconic Dragon Ball characters, get to see their relationship as it grows. Throughout Dragon Ball Z, it's just so amazing. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Dragon Ball Z as well, with the iconic power-ups and special moves, as well as some amazing moments in sagas like the Cell Saga and Future Trunks appearance. I had a great time reading Dragon Ball this year, and if you're a fan of shonen or just a manga fan in general who has not checked this out yet, I would call this a must-read that you should definitely go check out. Speaking of shonen must-reads, next up at the number 4 spot we have One Piece. Now, this isn't a completed series, obviously, but I read a large amount of One Piece this year. And though I can't remember exactly where I started, it was sometime way early on in the year, but I finally caught up with the physical release of One Piece through volume 100 at the time of recording this video. Similar to Dragon Ball, there's not a whole lot I can say about One Piece that hasn't already been said, just an iconic story that is loved by millions of people around the globe. But I will say that in my personal experience, One Piece is a series that just never gets boring. There's always something new and interesting either happening or on the horizon that keeps you engaged with this massive scope of a story and cast of characters. And you know, all the arcs that I read this year, the ones that I remember are of course, you know, Wano, Whole Cake, I believe even Impelled Down perhaps. Punk Hazard and Fishman Island were alright. They weren't my favorites, but just the stuff that was on the horizon, such as Dressrosa, and obviously Wano and all the things that have been foreshadowed for, you know, countless volumes and chapters, finally getting to experience these arcs was really, really awesome. And I'm honestly super excited for these volumes to come out. I don't think I'm gonna read them online just because reading online is kind of in my opinion, but I'm gonna keep on picking up these One Piece volumes as they come out physically, and I just know I'm gonna enjoy them a hell of a lot. Alright, so moving on to the number 3 spot, changing pace a little bit from the battle shonen manga with Dragon Ball One Piece. Here we have coming in at the 3 spot, Twin Spica. Now, this is a series that I talked about a little bit on Instagram, I believe, as well as in my top 20 manga video that I released a few months ago. This was a blind buy that I got off Reddit after hearing, you know, things here and there about it, but this series absolutely blew me away. If you haven't heard me talk about this series in the past, Twin Spica basically follows this girl who's either in high school or college, and she wants to be an astronaut. It is her lifelong dream. She is obsessed with space and the stars, and she finally goes to this school where she overcomes many different obstacles, makes friends, and just tries her best to achieve her lifelong goal and purpose. As a slice of life manga, Twin Spica just excels at everything I could possibly hope for. I love the cast of characters, getting to see them every chapter, seeing them interact, and just go through this school trying to achieve their different dreams and goals is very special to witness. There's also a supernatural aspect that adds an interesting twist onto the series that is very mysterious and interesting. And you know, with a manga collection full of violence and gore and just crazy shit going on, it's nice to just read a slice of life manga that is pure, wholesome content that can really make you feel certain emotions other series can't. And though the series is very out of print physically and probably ever won't get reprinted because, yeah, you see the publisher, I would highly recommend checking out this series online, or if you can find a set for cheap, pick it up, because this is one of the most special manga reads I've had this year, and I have in my entire manga collection, I'd say. Alright, so coming in at the number 2 spot, we're getting into the heavy hitters. Everything I've enjoyed up to this point, quite a bit, but now we're getting into the 5 out of 5s, the best manga that I read this year. There are 2 of them. Starting off with number 2 is, of course, Message to Adolf by Osamu Tezuka. This year, I read a good amount of Osamu Tezuka. Kind of was a goal for myself this year. I read, of course, Message to Adolf, MW, Dororo. I may have even finished Aiko this year. But out of all the Tezuka manga that I read, this one right here is by far my favorite. The story follows 3 characters named Adolf. You have a Jew named Adolf, the son of a Nazi official named Adolf, and of course Adolf Hitler, as the story takes place in the middle of World War II. And while all 3 of these different Adolf characters obviously have different backgrounds, very vastly different in some cases, you get to see all their paths intertwine in one way or another, and it's really interesting to see it all take place, as well as his storyline on the side with this detective who I think is trying to chase down like this statue and some mystery regarding Hitler's past. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of historical fiction manga, and Message to Adolf just scratches every itch I could possibly ask for with that unique Osamu Tezuka style and flair. Obviously, his artwork is a lot more cartoonish, reminiscent of, you know, Disney, so you think there'd be this conflict of, you know, the brutal atrocities of World War II and the Nazi regime mixing with Osamu Tezuka's playful artwork. But I think the 2 mix really well and creates a very digestible story that still has quite a bit of impact with the brutal things that are actually going on in the story. I believe that this series is still in print at the moment, so you really don't have any excuse to not pick up these beautiful hardcovers put out by Vertical. One of my favorite series of all time, and definitely one of the best I read in 2022. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 manga that I personally enjoyed reading this year in 2022 is actually a manga I finished reading this morning as of recording this video. And though a lot of you are probably going to scream recency bias, trust me, this is not recency bias. This is just a fantastic manga that I enjoyed everything about. One of my favorite manga creators of all time. Here we have Taya Matsumoto's number 5. This manga right here is something truly special in almost every single sense, whether it be the artwork, the characters, the world that the story takes place in, or just the emotions that it makes you feel. It is absolutely top-notch, and I've never experienced such a special manga as this. Taya Matsumoto is a goddamn master of manga through and through. I don't know why I put off reading this series for so long, given I'm such a huge fan of his manga, but I'm just kicking myself for having not gotten into this series until now because it absolutely blew me away. I actually just recorded a manga review for this series right here, so I won't talk too much about this series in this video, as that video will probably have already come out. But this series right here has absolutely solidified Taya Matsumoto as my favorite manga creator of all time. Above Oda, above Inoue, even above Hiroyo Oku. I know that's hard to believe. Taya Matsumoto is just in a league of his own. And number 5 is also a manga in a complete league of its own. Absolutely spectacular. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video, going over my top 5 favorite manga reads of 2022. It was a great year for reading manga. Obviously read some amazing stuff that I'm super glad to have read and to have in my collection, and I recommend all of these series to you guys as well. So make sure to go in the comments below and leave a comment telling me what was your personal favorite manga read that you read over 2022. Maybe we'll have some new series to check out in the coming year. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So yeah, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a great Happy New Year.